Welcome back to The Deep Dive, the show where we sift through the most impactful information to bring you the crucial insights you need. Today, we're plunging into a topic that's not just relevant, but absolutely critical as artificial intelligence continues its rapid, almost breathtaking integration into pretty much every facet of our lives. We're talking about AI trust, risk, and security management, or as is much more commonly known, AI TRiSM. Now, when I first heard the term AI TRiSM, I confess, my mind immediately jumped to, oh no, another AI buzzword, just what I needed. And I'm willing to bet some of you out there might have had a similar, initial reaction. The tech world, bless its heart, does love its acronyms.
Certainly does.
But this isn't just about adding another acronym to the tech dictionary, is it? This feels, well, fundamentally different.
It really is.
This isn't about hype. It's about the very bedrock upon which we build AI systems that aren't just intelligent or powerful, but are also inherently reliable, truly safe, and ultimately accountable. Think about it this way, and this is a vivid analogy from our sources. Without a solid AI TRiSM framework in place, we're essentially constructing a magnificent complex house of cards on a dangerously shaky foundation of raw data.
That's a great visual.
And let me tell you, that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. It's not a question of if that structure will eventually wobble and collapse, but when it will, and what the far-reaching consequences will be for individuals, organizations, and society at large.
Yeah, the potential fallout is huge.
So, our mission for this deep dive is crystal clear. We're going to demystify AI TRiSM. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you why it is absolutely, unequivocally, the key to unlocking AI's full transformative potential, all while responsibly mitigating its very real inherent risks. It's about building a future where AI empowers us rather than, inadvertently undermines us. So let's start at the beginning. To kick us off, how would you distill AI TRiSM down to its very essence? If someone walks away remembering just one thing about what it is, what should that be?
That's an excellent way to frame it. At its essence, I'd say AI TRiSM is a structured and comprehensive approach. It's about proactively managing the trust, risk, and security implications that are, well, inextricably linked with AI systems. It's truly a multi-layered framework, It's designed to address various distinct yet deeply interconnected aspects of AI safety and reliability. It's critical to understand that it's not a single piece of software you download or like a singular tool you deploy.
Right, it's not just a product off the shelf.
Yeah. Exactly. Instead, think of it as a robust, dynamic collection of best practices, cutting-edge technologies, and well-defined organizational structures that are all meticulously designed to keep your AI in check. Essentially, ensuring it behaves reliably and ethically from its initial conception and design, all the way through development, deployment, and crucially, ongoing operation. It's truly an end-to-end commitment.
End-to-end, got it.
And when we talk about these three pillars, trust, risk, and security, they are distinct, yes, each addressing a unique facet of AI management, but they are also profoundly interconnected. You simply cannot truly have one without the others. They form a synergistic whole that ensures the responsible, ethical, and effective use of AI.
Okay.
If one pillar crumbles, the entire structure becomes unstable, much like that house of cards we just mentioned. And we're going to dig into each of those pillars one by one.
Excellent. Trust seems like the natural starting point. But for many, trust in AI can feel almost, well, paradoxical. How do we build verifiable confidence, not just a leap of faith, in something as complex as an AI system? What exactly does that mean for an AI?
You've hit on a crucial distinction there. It's far from blind faith. When we discuss trust in AI, we're talking about building a verifiable confidence in the AI system's fundamental reliability, meaning it performs consistently and as expected. We also need to be confident in its inherent fairness, ensuring it doesn't perpetuate or create undue biases, and its consistent ethical behavior aligning with societal and organizational values.
Okay, so reliability, fairness, ethics.
Precisely. It's about having a clear understanding and really demonstrable proof that the system will perform as expected, without unintended negative consequences, and always within acceptable ethical boundaries. AI TRiSM is specifically designed to help you answer those critical questions. Questions like, can you genuinely rely on the outputs this AI system provides, especially in high-stakes scenarios?
Right.
Is it biased in any way, whether subtly or overtly, in its decision-making process? And perhaps most importantly, does its operation align not just with your organization's specific values, but also with broader societal norms and expectations for fairness, privacy, and equity?
That's a lot to unpack.
It is. And to illustrate this, consider the real-world scenario of AI being used in loan applications. This is an area with significant personal and societal implications.
Absolutely.
Here, The need for trust is absolutely paramount. You, as an applicant, need to trust that the AI is making decisions fairly, consistently, and crucially without discriminating based on race, gender, or any other protected characteristics. Think about the potential for hidden biases lurking in historical lending data. Maybe credit scores skewed by past redlining practices, or, application data that unwittingly reflects gender imbalances from decades ago.
Historical baggage in the data.
Exactly. An AI left unchecked won't just reflect those patterns. It will scale them to a degree human decision-making never could, embedding systemic inequities deeper into our digital financial infrastructure, often invisible until the damage is done. That's the insidious nature AI TRiSM aims to combat, by providing the mechanisms to, well, prevent such scenarios.
And how does AI TRiSM actually facilitate that? How does it build and then, I guess, painstakingly maintain that kind of deep trust in such complex systems?
Well, fundamentally, it demands transparency. AI TRiSM insists on transparency into how the AI makes its decisions, not just what decision it ultimately renders.
Okay, getting inside the black box a bit.
To some extent, yes. It means we should be able to peer inside and understand the factors and processes that led to a particular outcome. This transparency allows for scrutiny, validation, and a level of human oversight. But trust isn't a one-and-done deal, right? It necessitates what we call ongoing monitoring, a constant vigil to continually detect and correct any biases that might subtly creep in or worsen over time, even long after deployment.
So it's dynamic.
Absolutely. This ongoing monitoring isn't passive. It entails active, continuous data integrity checks to ensure the input data remains representative and clean, and regular algorithmic audits to proactively identify and rectify any discriminatory patterns or unintended behaviors in the AI's decision-making logic as it interacts with real-world data streams. It's a continuous feedback loop aimed at maintaining fairness.
That makes perfect sense. And it really brings home why trust isn't just some abstract concept here, doesn't it? For you as a listener, whether you're applying for a loan or maybe even a job where AI might be screening applications.
Yeah, the impact is direct.
Exactly. The trustworthiness of that AI can directly impact your financial opportunities, your access to services, and maybe even your personal freedoms. The aha moment here is realizing that a trustworthy AI ensures more equitable access and opportunity in our increasingly AI-driven world. And this notion of profound impact leads us directly to the concept of risk. So we've established trust as a foundation. Let's move on to the second core component, risk. It's pretty clear that any powerful technology, including AI, inherently comes with potential downsides, sometimes unforeseen ones. What's the comprehensive spectrum of those risks when we're talking about AI systems?
Well, the spectrum of potential risks associated with AI systems is quite broad, actually. It ranges from the more commonly understood cybersecurity threats to complex ethical dilemmas and unexpected operational failures. Our sources highlight several key categories. Firstly, we're talking about significant issues like data breaches and privacy violations, where sensitive information used by or generated from AI, I think valuable proprietary models or vast training data sets could be exposed.
Right, the crown jewels.
Precisely. Then there's algorithmic bias, which we touched on with trust, where the AI perpetuates or even amplifies societal biases embedded in its training data, leading to unfair outcomes. And crucially, there are unintended consequences, which can be particularly insidious because they're often unforeseen side effects of complex AI interactions or unexpected behaviors that only become apparent after deployment, maybe in novel real-world scenarios the designers didn't anticipate.
The things you just didn't see coming.
Exactly. AI TRiSM doesn't just acknowledge these risks. It provides the comprehensive tools and methodologies to systematically identify, assess, and then proactively mitigate these risks throughout the entire AI lifecycle.
Okay, so how does that work in practice? What are the steps?
Practically, this involves several crucial proactive steps. It begins with conducting thorough risk assessments. And this isn't merely a cursory checklist. It's a deep, multifaceted dive into every potential vulnerability. This includes not just technical exploits, but also ethical pitfalls, considering how a system might fail or be misused, and what the potential impact would be on individuals' operations' reputation.
So thinking through the what-ifs.
Absolutely. You'd conduct data privacy impact assessments, ethical reviews, maybe even RID teaming exercises, where skilled individuals intentionally try to break or misuse the AI to uncover unexpected weaknesses. It's about simulating real-world failures and misuse scenarios to build resilience from the ground up.
Okay.
Following assessment, it's about implement robust security controls. And these often need to be tailored specifically for AI's unique attack surfaces, which we'll get into shortly. Finally, there's developing contingency plans. This is the critical what-if step. What happens when things inevitably go wrong? How do we detect it, respond swiftly, recover effectively, and learn from it to prevent future occurrences?
Planning for failure, essentially.
Having these plans in place ensures operational resilience and minimizes harm when unforeseen issues arise. It's essential.
To truly make this tangible, let's consider a high-stakes example that's very much in the public consciousness. Self-driving cars. The risks here are incredibly clear, immediate, and profound.
Absolutely. Self-driving cars represent arguably the pinnacle of AI complexity and risk, where the stakes are quite literally life and death. The risks involved are incredibly high, impacting not just property but human lives.
Fascinating.
We're talking about the potential for accidents due to complex software malfunctions, sensor errors, or perception misjudgments in unpredictable environments. There are system malfunctions that could lead to a sudden loss of vehicle control, and even the chilling possibility of potential misuse if a system could be hacked or commandeered by malicious actors, turning a vehicle into a weapon.
That's a terrifying thought.
Imagine a scenario where a malicious actor could remotely take control of a fleet of autonomous vehicles, or even subtly alter their navigation parameters. The implications are, well, terrifying. This is precisely why AI TRiSM principles are not just beneficial, but essential for managing those risks, ensuring the fundamental safety of both passengers inside the vehicles and pedestrians around them. It's about building in layers of redundancy, fail-safes, continuous verification, basically handling the infinite variability of real-world scenarios.
This directly connects to our listeners. What would it truly take for you to trust a self-driving car? For me, it's about knowing that every conceivable risk has been identified, assessed, and proactively mitigated with multiple layers of defense. The idea of managing these profound risks isn't just for the engineers in the labs. It's what ultimately ensures broader societal acceptance, allows for widespread adoption, and most importantly, guarantees our collective safety in an autonomous future. Now, onto the third pillar, security. This component feels, on the surface, perhaps the most straightforward because we're all familiar with cybersecurity. But when we talk about AI, it introduces its own distinct and quite sophisticated vulnerabilities, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It's no less important, and in some ways, it's even more complex to defend.
You're absolutely right. While the core concept of security is familiar, AI introduces an entirely new class of threats that go well beyond traditional IT security concerns like, simple malware or network intrusions.
Yeah.
AI systems are indeed vulnerable to a variety of specific advanced security threats. For instance, there are adversarial attacks.
Right, I've heard that term. What does it mean exactly?
Well, these aren't just random errors. They're targeted manipulations. Researchers have shown how tiny, almost imperceptible changes in the face, maybe a few strategically placed stickers on a stop sign, or a barely visible noise pattern added to an audio input, can exploit vulnerabilities in an AI's internal logic, causing it to misclassify objects or misinterpret commands entirely. It's like a visual or auditory illusion designed specifically to trick the machine, making it act in ways completely unintended by its developers or users.
Tricking the AI itself.
Exactly. Then there's data poisoning. This is where malicious actors deliberately introduce corrupt or manipulated data into the AI's training data set. The goal isn't just a simple data breach. It's to subtly degrade the AI's performance, introduce specific backdoors that can be exploited later, or maybe inject specific biases that only activate under certain conditions. This can compromise the model's integrity and reliability long before it's even deployed.
Undermining it from the inside.
Precisely. And finally, model theft is a very real and growing concern. An AI model, especially a highly performant or specialized one, represents immense intellectual property, computational investment, and competitive advantage. If a competitor or malicious actor manages to steal your proprietary AI model, it can severely undermine your business advantage, expose your core algorithms, or even be used for reverse engineering and counter development.
So the model itself is a valuable target.
Extremely valuable.
So given these sophisticated AI-specific threats, how does AI TRiSM respond? What kind of robust security measures are we talking about to protect these unique assets?
Right, so AI TRiSM inherently emphasizes the need for robust security measures that are specifically designed to defend against these sophisticated AI-native threats. This includes foundational cybersecurity practices, but with an AI-specific lens. For example, stringent access controls are critical, ensuring that only authorized personnel or systems can interact with the AI model or its underlying data, thereby minimizing potential points of vulnerability.
Limiting who gets in.
Exactly. Encryption is non-negotiable. protecting data not only in transit as it moves through networks, but also at rest when it's stored on servers or in databases. This ensures that even if data is stolen, it remains unreadable and unusable to unauthorized parties. And sophisticated intrusion detection systems are more important than ever, actively monitoring for anomalous behavior within the AI's operations or data streams that might signal an adversarial attack, a data poisoning attempt, or unauthorized access to the model itself.
Actively looking for trouble.
Yes, it's about building a multi-layered defense around the entire AI pipeline, from raw data ingestion and model training all the way to deployment and ongoing inference. It's about anticipating how AI can be attacked and building specific defenses for those vectors.
Let's consider a truly critical, even grave scenario to underscore this. Imagine a hospital using AI to diagnose patients. This is where security isn't just about data privacy, it's about life and death.
Precisely. In such a deeply sensitive and high-stakes scenario, if a hacker were to gain unauthorized access to that hospital's AI diagnosis system, the consequences could be absolutely catastrophic. They could manipulate the results, causing the AI to misinterpret medical images, misread crucial patient data, or suggest incorrect diagnoses altogether.
Oh, wow.
This would potentially lead to misdiagnoses and direct, tangible harm to patients. Lives are quite literally on the line. It's a vivid, chilling demonstration that security is paramount to prevent such scenarios. It's not just about protecting abstract data or intellectual property. It's about protecting the integrity of decisions that directly affect human well-being, trust in our critical infrastructure, and ultimately, public safety.
The personal implications for you here are immense. Think about it. If a critical AI system you rely on, whether it's in healthcare for your diagnosis, in finance managing your investments, or even in transportation for your daily commute, were compromised due to inadequate security, what would the potential fallout be for your safety, your privacy, or your financial stability? Security, in the context of AI, quickly becomes a profound human concern far beyond just a technical checklist. Okay, we've unpacked the three core components: trust, risk, and security. Those are the whats of AI TRiSM. Now, let's zoom out a bit and tackle the why. Why is AI TRiSM so critically important now? Why isn't it just a nice to have, an optional best practice, but an absolute necessity for anyone leveraging AI? As our sources put it quite starkly, without it, AI is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, that's a stark phrase.
Let's dive into some specific reasons, starting with the rapidly evolving landscape of compliance and regulation.
That statement about AI being a ticking time bomb really underscores the urgency and the potential for uncontrolled fallout. As AI becomes more deeply embedded and widely adopted across virtually every industry, finance, healthcare, automotive, you name it, well, governments and regulatory bodies are starting to take notice. They recognize the profound societal impact, the complex ethical considerations, and the very real potential for misuse or unintended harm.
They have to, really.
Exactly. We've already seen significant precedents and foundational steps towards AI-specific regulations emerge in areas like data privacy, where GDPR set a global standard for how personal data must be handled. And there's a growing emphasis on algorithmic transparency, demanding visibility into how automated decisions are made. These existing regulations give us a strong indication of the direction future AI-specific laws will take, with initiatives like the EU AI Act already shaping the global conversation.
So the regulatory environment is heating up.
It absolutely is, and this is precisely where AI TRiSM becomes indispensable. It provides a comprehensive framework for complying with these regulations, both existing ones and those rapidly taking shape. For organizations, proactively adopting AI TRiSM helps them avoid not just hefty fines and severe reputational damage that come from noncompliance, but also potential operational paralysis.
What do you mean by operational paralysis?
Well, imagine investing millions in an AI system only to have it sidelined or its deployment significantly restricted because it fails to meet emerging ethical, transparency, or data governance standards.
Right, it could shut down.
Exactly. Ignoring AI TRiSM could mean facing serious legal challenges and even outright restrictions on your AI deployments, effectively rendering your investment useless. So it's a fundamental business imperative as much as it is a moral one, ensuring your AI initiatives can actually see the light of day and operate effectively.
This has direct implications for our listeners, too. How might new regulations, shaped by AI TRiSM principles, impact how you interact with the AI services you use daily? And what's the cost of noncompliance for businesses? It trickles down, ultimately affecting the quality, accessibility, and trustworthiness of the AI products and services available to consumers. Responsible AI, guided by TRiSM, ultimately serves to protect you as a user, ensuring fairness and recourse in an increasingly automated world. Beyond regulation, one of the most persistent and concerning issues with AI is its potential to perpetuate or even amplify existing societal biases. So, let's talk about mitigating bias and unfairness. How does AI TRiSM tackle this critical and often subtle problem?
This is a fundamental challenge because, as we've touched on, AI systems are trained on data, and if that data reflects existing biases in society, the AI will likely perpetuate those biases.
Garbage in, garbage out, basically.
In a sense, yes. It's not that the AI learns to be biased in a malicious way. It simply reflects the patterns, inequities, and historical prejudices present in the real-world data it's fed. This can lead to incredibly unfair or discriminatory outcomes, particularly in high-stakes areas like hiring, lending, and criminal justice. We've seen numerous real-world examples where AI has inadvertently favored or disfavored certain groups based on characteristics like gender, race, or socioeconomic status.
Just because of the data.
Just because the training data was imbalanced, incomplete, or contained hidden correlations rooted in past human decisions. AI TRiSM directly confronts this by including sophisticated techniques for identifying and mitigating bias in AI systems, ensuring that they are fair and equitable. A crucial part of this involves using explainable AI techniques. Think of XAI not as opening the AI's brain entirely, but providing digestible insights into its decision-making.
So making it understandable.
Right. For example, an XAI tool might highlight which specific input features, say, the applicant's credit history versus their zip code, were most heavily weighted by the AI in a loan approval decision. By dissecting how the AI interpreted and prioritized these factors, we can often uncover hidden biases or unintended correlations that might otherwise remain opaque within the black box. This allows for targeted interventions, whether it's collecting more diverse and representative data, reweighting specific features, or even adjusting algorithms to actively promote fairness and outcomes. It's about making the invisible visible.
Think about this for a moment and consider if you've ever experienced or heard of an AI decision that felt unfair. Perhaps a credit score that seemed inexplicably low, or an online ad that felt strangely targeted based on assumptions about your demographics. Ensuring fairness in AI systems benefits society as a whole by promoting equitable access to opportunities, reducing systemic discrimination, and ultimately building a more just digital future for everyone. It's about translating our deeply held human values into algorithmic design and making them operational. Another major hurdle for AI adoption and public trust is what we often call its black box nature. It can feel like magic when an AI system produces an answer, but that inherent mystery can breed profound mistrust, especially in critical applications. So let's discuss how AI TRiSM enhances transparency and explainability.
You've hit on a core psychological barrier that often makes people wary of relying on AI. It's true that for many complex AI systems, especially cutting-edge deep learning models, it can be difficult to understand how an AI system arrives at a particular decision.
It's not like old software.
Not at all. It's not like traditional software where you can trace a line of code and see the exact logic. The decision-making process can be incredibly intricate, involving millions of parameters, layers of mathematical transformations, and emergent properties that often defy simple human interpretation. AI TRiSM directly addresses this by emphasizing the need for transparency and explainability. This means making it fundamentally easier to understand how AI systems work and why they make the decisions they do.
Okay.
The goal isn't necessarily to make every single parameter understandable to a human, but to provide actionable, digestible insights into the AI's reasoning process.
So what are the real benefits of doing that?
The benefits of this enhanced explainability are profound and multifaceted. Firstly, and most obviously, it inherently builds trust with users because they're not just accepting a recommendation blindly. They can grasp the logic and evidence behind it. Secondly, and critically, it allows humans to intervene when necessary. If an AI is making a life-altering decision or even a simple recommendation that seems off or counterintuitive, a human expert can review the explanation, validate the reasoning, and override or adjust the decision if needed.
Maintaining human oversight.
Exactly. This maintains human agency and oversight. Furthermore, explainability is vital for debugging, auditing, and continuous improvement. If you can't understand why an AI failed, how can you possibly fix it effectively?
Let's revisit that powerful medical example. Imagine a doctor relying on AI to diagnose a patient. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about patient safety and the very standard of care.
Exactly. In that scenario, explainability is non-negotiable. The doctor needs to understand the reasoning behind the AI's diagnosis to make an informed decision about treatment.
Right.
They can't just blindly accept an AI's output because their professional oath demands they fully comprehend the basis of their medical decisions and be able to articulate it to a patient.
Right, they need to stand behind it.
Precisely. If the AI suggests a particular diagnosis, the doctor needs to see the contributing factors. Which symptoms were most heavily weighted? Which lab results were critical? What historical patient data influenced the outcome? Without this level of understanding, the AI becomes a liability rather than an indispensable aid, potentially undermining the doctor's autonomy and professional responsibility.
Think about critical decisions in your own life, say a financial investment recommendation, a legal judgment, or even a major purchase suggestion. Would you truly trust an AI's recommendation if you couldn't understand why it made that recommendation? For most of us, I think, that lack of insight would be a deal breaker. Transparency isn't just a technical feature, it's a fundamental requirement for effective human-AI collaboration and widespread acceptance. Building on that, when AI systems become more autonomous, making decisions with less human intervention, the question of who is responsible when things inevitably go wrong becomes incredibly complex. So let's talk about AI TRiSM's crucial role in improving accountability and governance.
This is a cornerstone of responsible AI development and deployment. AI TRiSM provides a robust framework for establishing clear lines of accountability and governance for AI systems. In traditional software development, accountability is often, well, relatively straightforward. With AI, especially self-learning or adaptive systems operating in dynamic environments, it can get incredibly blurry. Who's really in charge? This framework precisely defines roles and responsibilities across the entire AI lifecycle. From the data scientists who train the models, to the engineers who deploy them, to the business leaders who approve their use, and even the end users who interact with them. It also involves establishing clear ethical guidelines that dictate how the AI should be designed, tested, used in a manner consistent with organizational values and societal expectations. And critically, it includes implementing monitoring and auditing procedures to continuously oversee the AI's performance, behavior, and adherence to these guidelines.
So, checks and balances for AI.
Essentially, yes. The overarching goal here is to ensure that AI systems are used responsibly and, most importantly, that someone is accountable for their actions. This moves us beyond the idea of AI as an unanswerable, magical entity operating in a vacuum. For example, if an AI system makes a mistake, and they will, because they're built by humans, learn from often imperfect human data, and operate in complex real-world scenarios, it's important to have a clear process for investigating the incident and taking corrective action.
Learning from mistakes.
Exactly. This isn't just about assigning blame. It's about fostering a culture of learning, continuous improvement, and ensuring that similar mistakes aren't repeated. It's about building a robust system of ethical oversight and operational resilience.
In a world where AI is increasingly making significant decisions that affect everything from our daily commutes to our access to healthcare, knowing who is ultimately responsible when things go wrong is crucial for your peace of mind. It's fundamental to maintaining public trust in these powerful systems and ensuring that innovation genuinely serves humanity responsibly rather than creating new liabilities. Finally, let's consider the broadest impact: building trust with stakeholders. Because ultimately, the success of AI, its widespread adoption, and its long-term societal benefit depend entirely on whether real people trust it.
Absolutely. That house of cards analogy comes back.
Yeah.
If people walk away, it all falls down. The truth is, no matter how technically brilliant or efficient an AI system is, if it doesn't earn and painstakingly maintain the trust of its users and the wider public, its potential will be severely limited, and its adoption will stagnate. AI TRiSM recognizes this fundamental truth and directly addresses the imperative of building trust with all key stakeholders. These include customers, who use AI-powered products and services, employees, who work alongside AI in their daily tasks, and of course the general public, whose lives are increasingly touched by AI systems in ways they might not even realize.
So it's a broad net of people.
Very broad. And AI TRiSM specifically helps build that trust by demonstrating that AI systems are reliable, safe, and ethical. It's not just about making empty claims, it's about providing the verifiable proof through transparency, robust risk management, and strong security measures. This proactive demonstration of responsibility and integrity has a direct and tangible outcome. This can lead to increased adoption and acceptance of AI technologies.
Makes sense. Trust leads to use.
Exactly. When people trust AI, they're more willing to engage with it, rely on it for critical functions, and integrate it into their lives and businesses. This, in turn, fuels further innovation and the development of even more beneficial and impactful AI applications.
A perfect, very relatable example is something many of us interact with regularly, often without a second thought. AI-powered chatbots for customer service.
Indeed. When consumers engage with AI-powered chatbots for customer service, they aren't just looking for quick answers. They're bringing an implicit expectation of reliability. They need to trust that the chatbot is providing accurate information and that their data is being handled securely and privately.
Yeah, you don't want it giving wrong info or leaking your details.
Definitely not. If a chatbot gives incorrect or misleading information, or if a user feels their personal data might be exposed or misused, that trust is immediately shattered. This single negative interaction can sour a user's perception of AI entirely, not just of that specific chatbot. AI TRiSM ensures the mechanisms are in place for that chatbot to be consistently accurate, demonstrably secure, and respectful of user data and privacy, thereby fostering positive experiences and building broader trust in AI capabilities one interaction at a time. It's about cumulative trust.
Consider your own interactions with AI services in your daily life. How much does your underlying trust in their accuracy, fairness, and security influence your willingness to use them, whether it's for personalized recommendations, financial advice, or simply getting directions? That underlying trust is the invisible force enabling our comfort and reliance on AI, and it's why AI TRiSM is so vital. Okay, we've covered the what and the why of AI TRiSM. Now comes the really practical question for organizations, for businesses, and even for those curious individuals who might be building AI projects at home. How do you actually implement AI TRiSM? It sounds like a big undertaking, and it is, but there are concrete, actionable steps. Let's dig into the practical steps. How do we get started?
It definitely requires a methodical, committed approach, but it's entirely achievable and frankly crucial for long-term success. The first crucial step is to establish a clear AI governance framework.
The blueprint, basically.
Exactly. This is your organizational blueprint for responsible AI, a comprehensive set of rules and guidelines. It needs to explicitly define roles and responsibilities for every individual and team involved in the AI lifecycle, from data scientists and engineers to legal counsel, ethics committees, and even frontline customer service representatives. It also dictates clear ethical guidelines to steer all AI development and deployment decisions, ensuring they align with organizational values and societal expectations. Crucially, it must include robust risk management policies tailored specifically for AI's unique challenges.
And it's not just set up, right? It's ongoing.
Absolutely. Beyond initial setup, this framework must include a continuous process for monitoring and auditing AI systems to ensure they operate precisely as intended and consistently adhere to these established guidelines. And critically, this commitment starts at the top with leadership buy-in and a clear, unwavering commitment to responsible AI development and deployment. Without that top-down support and champions, any efforts can quickly falter and become mere lip service.
So leadership has to be on board.
Completely. It's about embedding responsible AI into the organizational DNA, making it a cultural imperative.
Okay, so once that overarching framework is in place, what's the next immediate and proactive step before an AI system even goes live, before it's deployed to real users?
That leads directly to the second step. Conduct thorough risk assessments. This is a crucial, mandatory, and iterative step to be taken before deploying an AI system and revisited regularly thereafter. It's about foresight, not reaction.
Thinking ahead.
Exactly. The assessment must be comprehensive and thorough, designed to identify all potential risks and vulnerabilities that an AI system might introduce or exacerbate. We differentiate between two critical categories here. Technical risks, which include things we discussed like data breaches, adversarial attacks, and system failures, and equally important ethical risks, such as bias and discrimination, privacy breaches, or issues of fairness.
Both tech and ethics.
Both must be evaluated rigorously, not just from a technical standpoint, but also from a societal and human impact perspective. This isn't a simple checklist. It often involves methodologies like data privacy impact assessments, DPIAs, ethical reviews by multidisciplinary teams, and maybe even those red teaming exercises we mentioned.
Trying to break it.
Trying to find the weaknesses before someone else does. And these assessments shouldn't be a one-time event either. As AI systems evolve, new data comes in, the environment changes, risks can change, so they need to be revisited and updated periodically.
That brings us naturally to implement robust security controls. We've talked about unique AI vulnerabilities. How do these controls specifically protect against them? What makes them unique for AI?
This step is about building a formidable defense around your AI assets. It's vital to implement robust security controls, specifically designed to protect AI systems from the array of threats we identified earlier, including data breaches, adversarial attacks, and model theft. This means putting in place measures like stringent access controls, ensuring that only authorized individuals and systems can access or modify the AI system, its training data, or its output, minimizing vulnerability points.
Locking it down.
Pretty much. Encryption is non-negotiable, protecting data not only when it's being transmitted across networks, but also when it's stored at rest, on servers, in the cloud, in databases, ensuring that even if data is stolen, it's unreadable. And sophisticated intrusion detection systems are more important than ever, actively monitoring for anomalous behavior, anything that might signal an adversarial attack, data poisoning, or unauthorized access.
Watching the watchers, almost.
In a way. A particular emphasis here is protecting the data used to train the AI model, because that data is often highly sensitive, incredibly valuable intellectual property, and a prime target for attackers. This isn't just general IT security, it's security specifically adapted to the unique, evolving attack surface of AI.
Then we tackled the black box directly by prioritizing transparency and explainability. How do organizations achieve this in a practical sense without overwhelming users or revealing proprietary secrets?
Yeah, it's a balancing act. It's about making the AI's internal workings and decision rationale understandable to the relevant stakeholders. This step requires organizations to make sure that your AI systems are transparent and explainable. Practically, this involves meticulous documenting how the AI works, from its architecture and algorithms to its data sources, training methods, known limitations, potential biases.
Document everything.
Pretty much. It also means actively providing explanations for its decisions in clear, understandable terms appropriate for the user, whether that's a technical expert or a general consumer. And critically, it's about allowing users to understand the reasoning behind its outputs. This isn't about revealing proprietary code line by line, but about revealing why a decision was made.
The why is key.
Absolutely. A key technique to achieve this is using explainable AI, XAI techniques, which are a suite of tools and methods specifically designed to make the inner workings of the AI more transparent. For example, XAI might use visualizations to show which parts of an image an AI focused on when making a diagnosis, or highlight which input features were most influential in a credit decision.
Making it visual or highlighting key factors.
Exactly. The challenge, of course, is balancing simplicity and conciseness with sufficient detail for different user needs, ensuring the explanations are both accurate and actionable.
And once an AI system is out in the wild, solving problems in the real world, the job isn't over. You need to monitor and audit AI systems regularly. What does that ongoing vigilance entail, and why is it so crucial for continuous reliability?
This is absolutely critical for the long-term health, reliability, and trustworthiness of any AI system. AI systems are dynamic. They interact with constantly changing real-world data and environments, so they should be monitored and audited regularly.
Can't just set and forget it.
Yes, not. The objectives are twofold. First, to ensure that they are operating as intended, meaning they're consistently performing their design task accurately and efficiently, delivering the expected value. Second, and equally important, to confirm that they are not exhibiting any unintended biases or risks that might develop over time, perhaps due to changes in real-world data distribution, what we call data drift, or new emergent behaviors not apparent during testing.
So watching for drift and unexpected stuff.
Right. This involves continuously tracking key metrics, such as accuracy, fairness, and security metrics, looking for any deviations from the norm. And beyond continuous monitoring, it means conducting regular audits, which are deeper, more comprehensive periodic reviews, specifically to identify potential problems or emerging risks before they escalate into major incidents or failures.
Okay.
These audits might be conducted by internal teams, independent third-party auditors, or even regulatory bodies to ensure objectivity and compliance. It's about perpetual quality control and ethical oversight.
I think this next one is often overlooked in purely technical discussions about AI. Train employees on AI ethics and responsible AI practices. Why is this so crucial, and who exactly needs this training within an organization?
It's absolutely foundational because AI at its core is a socio-technical system. It's not just about the code or the algorithms. It's profoundly about the people who interact with it at every stage of its life cycle.
People are part of the system.
Exactly. So everyone involved in the development and deployment of AI systems should be trained on AI ethics and responsible AI practices. The goal is to ensure that every individual, regardless of their specific role, understand the potential risks and ethical implications of AI, from data privacy and algorithmic bias to accountability and societal impact. Crucially, They must be equipped to make responsible decisions at every step of the AI lifecycle.
Everyone involved.
Yes, this is a critical point.
Yeah.
This is not just for data scientists. It's for everyone, from business leaders to customer service representatives. A CEO needs to understand the ethical implications of an AI strategy, how it might impact the company's reputation. A customer service rep needs to understand the boundaries of an AI chatbot they're using, know when to escalate to a human.
Makes sense. Different roles, different needs, but everyone needs awareness.
Precisely. This broad cross-functional training fosters a pervasive culture of responsibility and ethical mindfulness across the entire organization, reducing the risk of blind spots or unintended harm.
And finally, because this field is moving at warp speed, you have to stay up to date on the latest AI TRiSM trends and best practices. It's not a static target.
Exactly. The landscape of AI, and consequently AI TRiSM, is incredibly dynamic. The field of AI TRiSM is constantly evolving. New threats emerge, driven by advancements in adversarial techniques. New mitigation techniques are developed by researchers. Regulatory frameworks are continually refined and expanded as governments grapple with the implications of rapidly advancing AI.
It never stops changing.
It really doesn't. So it's paramount for organizations and individual professionals to stay up to date on the latest trends and best practices. This involves proactive learning and continuous engagement. Practically, this means attending conferences where cutting-edge research is presented, reading industry publications and academic papers, and actively participating in online communities where practitioners share insights, collaborate on challenges, and collectively push the boundaries of responsible AI.
Keep learning, basically.
Continuous learning isn't just a suggestion here. It's essential for maintaining effective AI TRiSM and adapting to an ever-changing AI environment, ensuring your AI systems remain trustworthy, resilient, and compliant.
Okay, so we've broken down all the practical steps involved in implementing AI TRiSM. And yes, I know this all sounds like a lot of work, and let's be honest, it is a lot of work.
It definitely is an investment.
It requires significant investment in terms of time, resources, expertise, and a fundamental shift in how organizations approach AI development and deployment. But the benefits, as our sources clearly state, far outweigh the costs. By implementing a robust, well-thought-out AI TRiSM framework, you can truly unlock the full, transformative potential of AI while responsibly mitigating its inherent risks and building crucial, lasting trust with all your stakeholders.
It's like setting up that digital fortress, as you said, brick by brick.
Yeah, against attacks and challenges that are constantly evolving. To bring this home, let's look at some real-world applications directly from our source material where AI TRiSM principles are making a tangible difference right now. Translating theory into practice. Consider a financial institution using AI to detect fraud. How does TRiSM apply there?
This is an excellent real-world case that impacts millions of people daily. A financial institution leveraging AI for fraud detection is fantastic for efficiency and protecting assets, right?
Sure.
But it carries inherent risks of false positives or, more critically, bias leading to unfair targeting.
Yeah, you don't want innocent people flagged.
Exactly. By implementing AI TRiSM principles, they can rigorously ensure that the AI is not unfairly targeting certain groups of people based on discriminatory patterns in historical data or inadvertently flagging legitimate transactions as fraudulent due to flawed assumptions. Furthermore, they ensure that the AI's decisions are transparent and explainable. This means if a transaction is flagged as fraudulent, the bank can explain why to the customer, articulating the specific data points or patterns that triggered the alert, rather than just vaguely saying the AI said so.
Giving a reason.
Giving a reason. This proactive approach not only builds trust with customers because they understand the process is fair and auditable, but it also helps prevent false accusations that could lead to legal action, reputational damage, and erosion of customer loyalty. It's about intelligent security that is also equitable and accountable.
Or let's go back to healthcare, where the stakes are even higher, quite literally involving lives. Think about a healthcare provider using AI to diagnose patients.
In this deeply critical context, AI TRiSM is absolutely vital for patient safety and ethical care. By implementing AI TRiSM principles, the healthcare provider can ensure that the AI is accurate and reliable. This involves rigorous validation against established medical standards and real-world clinical outcomes, not just raw data, ensuring the AI performs consistently and precisely. It also ensures that the AI's decisions are based on sound medical evidence, rather than simply statistical correlations that might not be clinically meaningful or safe.
Grounded in actual medicine.
Yes. For example, the AI can explain why it's suggesting a certain diagnosis by highlighting specific findings in a scan or patient history that align with known medical literature. The outcome is profound. This commitment improves patient outcomes by providing more accurate and timely diagnoses, assisting clinicians in making informed decisions, and it dramatically reduces the risk of misdiagnosis, which can have life-altering or even fatal consequences. It's how we ensure AI enhances, rather than compromises, human health and well-being.
These are just two powerful examples that demonstrate the tangible value of AI TRiSM, but the possibilities are truly endless. AI TRiSM isn't confined to finance or healthcare. It can be applied to any industry or application where AI is used. From retail customer recommendations to smart manufacturing processes, from personalized education platforms to entertainment content curation, the core principles of trust, risk, and security are universally applicable wherever AI touches human lives or critical operational workflows. I want you, our listener, to reflect on the myriad industries that touch your life every day. How could comprehensive AI TRiSM principles make a profound difference there? Imagine a safer, fairer, and more trustworthy experience with every AI interaction you have, empowering you rather than creating uncertainty.
To conclude our deep dive, it's vital to reiterate AI TRiSM is far more than just another ephemeral buzzword. It is a critical, indispensable framework for ensuring that AI systems are used responsibly, ethically, and securely. It's multifaceted by design, a holistic approach to managing the inherent complexities of AI. It's about building trust so that we can confidently rely on these systems for ever more critical tasks. It's about mitigating risks to prevent harm, safeguard privacy, and avoid unintended consequences. And it's about protecting against threats to ensure the integrity, safety, and resilience of AI operations against malicious actors.
Trust, risk, security, the core.
Exactly. Ultimately, AI TRiSM is the essential pathway to unlocking the full potential of AI while steadfastly safeguarding our values and ensuring a future where AI benefits everyone, not just a select few or the technologically advanced. It's the robust mechanism to ensure that breathtaking technological progress is consistently paired with thoughtful, proactive prudence.
The future of AI truly depends on our collective ability to manage its trust, risk, and security implications with foresight, diligence, and unwavering dedication. By embracing AI TRiSM, by integrating its principles into every AI endeavor from concept to retirement, we can pave the way for a more responsible, a more equitable, and a profoundly beneficial AI-powered future for all. So let's all commit to building AI systems that are not only intelligent and innovative, but are also inherently trustworthy, reliably safe, and securely designed from the ground up, because the stakes have never been higher. That's all for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring the frontiers, and remember, the future isn't just about technology, it's about how we choose to build and use it responsibly.